Hello Year 2, welcome to your online home learning. I'm going to be joining you for some maths together today. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen and then we can get started. Okay, now yesterday in our maths learning, we were learning to recognise equal groups. And today we're going to be moving that learning on a little bit and we are learning to make equal groups. So we're just going to start off with this little picture to see if we can remember that learning from yesterday. So we have 4 groups here and each group has got some hats. And the question is, are these groups equal or unequal? How do you know? There's also a challenge X here. It says if they are unequal, can you correct them so they are showing equal groups? It'd be a good time now to pause the video and get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil if you don't have one already. And you might want to draw these groups and show me what it should look like if these groups were equal. So how many hats should we have in each group? Okay, pause the video here and come back together to share the answers in a moment. Okay, so looking at these groups here together. So we can see this group here has 3 hats. This group also has 3 hats. This group has 4 hats. And this group has 2 hats. So the answer to this first question is the groups are unequal because they don't have the same number of objects in. Because these 2 groups have 3, this group has 4, and this group has 2. Now, the challenge X, can we correct them so they are showing equal groups? Now, the best way to do this would be to make sure that every group has 3 hats, because these top 2 groups here both have 3. So what would we need to do to these 4 hats to make sure that we're showing 3? Well, the answer is we cross one out. We just cross out one of these hats here. And then here, what would we do to this group to make sure there are 3 hats? Well, we need to draw another one. Okay, so draw a hat there so that each group now has got 3 hats. Okay, well done if you got that one right. That was just a little bit of a warm-up for us before our today's learning. Okay, so today we are learning to make equal groups. As a little bit of a reminder, let's remind ourselves, what are equal groups? You might want to pause the video here to have a little think. What are equal groups? Okay, so equal groups is the same number of objects in each group. So as this example here, we've got 3 trains here and 3 trains here. So both of the groups have the same number. Okay, so here's our first example. We've got some base 10 here. Now this base 10 is showing us 6 groups. And we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. And each group is showing us 10, because 1 10 stick equals 10. So altogether there are 6 groups of 10, 6 tens. I want you to think about how else you could represent this as equal groups. So how else could you show me 6 groups of 10? You could show me 6 plates with 10 cupcakes on each, 6 tables with 10 children on each, even just 6 trees with 10 apples on each. Have a go now at drawing on your piece of paper, drawing 6 equal groups of 10. Just drawing another example other than our base 10. So pause the video here and have a little go at that one for me. Okay, super. So hopefully you've managed to draw 6 groups, and in each group there should be 10 objects of whichever object you choose. Okay, let's have another go at another one. So now I want to know how many ways I can represent 4 equal groups with 3 in each group. So I have 4 groups, and in each group there is 3. I want you to have a go now on your paper, drawing 2 different representations. I have an example here to show you after, but I'd like you to have a go at drawing 4 groups, even if that's 4 circles with 3 dots in each group. So 4 groups with 3 in each group. You might want to pause the video here, have a go at drawing those representations. Okay, so I'm going to share my example. So my example, I've got 4 bags, so my 4 groups, and in each bag, I have got 3 bouncy balls. So 4 groups with 3 in each group. So this would be one representation. So I'd like to try and draw that in another way. Okay, now our final practice before our main activity today. Now, this picture is showing us the start of something, but we need to try and finish it off. So it says, what else do we need to add to make 5 threes? And 5 threes is the same as 5 groups of 3. So look at how many groups of 3 we have at the moment. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3. At the moment, we have 3 groups of 3. So what else would we need to add to make 5 groups of 3? Have a go on your paper now at drawing me 5 groups of 3 using this same representation. So using the Numicon block that represents 3. Draw me 5 groups of 3. Okay. So let's have a go at this together then. So we need to draw 2 more Numicon blocks to make 5 threes. So I draw 1 more there, and then another here. So altogether, we have 5 groups, and in each group there is 3. Now, as a challenge, some of you may have had a go at this. You may have shown me another way of representing 5 groups of 3 or 5 threes. You could show this in many different ways. Again, if you wanted to have 5 boxes and in each box you had 3 bananas, or 5 skipping ropes and in each skipping rope you have 3 children. So many ways of showing your groups and how many in each group. Okay, so this leads us on to our main activity. So your challenge for today, you're going to do some drawing. So you'll need a piece of paper for this. So what I'd like you to do is to draw 2 different representations for each of these groups. So the first one is I want you to draw 3 groups with 5 in each group. The next one, I want you to draw 2 groups with 3 in each group. The next one would be 1 group with 10 in each group. And then the final one would be 5 groups with 2 in each group. I'm just going to show you an example for this bottom one here. So if I wanted to draw 5 groups, I'm going to draw my 5 groups first of all. Now I'm going to draw plates. So this would be 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are my 5 groups. Now I want 2 in each group. So now I'll go back. I add my 2 apples, 2 apples, 2, 2, and 2. And then I could even challenge myself at the end to count the total. So I'm going to use my counting skill from yesterday to count the total. See if you can count in 2s with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So altogether for my bottom one there, 5 groups of 2 would equal 10. Okay, so that would be your challenge, drawing 2 different representations for each of these groups. So this would be 1 representation, what we've done here together. So then I'd want to draw something different. So next time I might draw boxes, and in each box I might have 2 of something. Okay. Now, finally, if you would like to stretch yourself that little bit more, we have our challenge X. And our challenge X, again, is going back to our equal groups. Now, at the moment, do you think these groups are equal or are they unequal? This group has 2 stars. This group has 4 stars. So does that make them equal or unequal? That's right, they'd be unequal because they don't have the same number of objects. So it says, how can you make the groups equal? So what could you do to make sure they had the same number of objects? Now, there may be more than one way you could do this. So have a little go at experimenting with the different ways you could make sure each group has the same number of stars. Okay, now I'd really love to see your learning that you create today for your maths learning. So please send us in a photograph, or if you end up doing it on the computer, you could send us in an email to show us your fantastic maths learning. I'd really love to see these drawings and these representations to see how creative you've been with your drawings. And finally, let's have a look at our number sentence to finish off. Now, this is a really tricky number sentence this time because this one involves having to bridge 10 to cross that 10's boundary. So the number sentence is 54 subtract 6. Now, remember the challenge X is how many ways could you show your workings out? Now, we've done a lot of work in school with doing our exchanging. So we could exchange our 110 for 10 ones so that we have enough ones to subtract. Okay, so the answer to this number sentence would be 48. Well done if you found that as the answer. Okay, now thank you so much for joining me for our maths learning together. It was fantastic. I really hope you had a good time, and I hope you enjoy doing your challenges at home. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next video. Bye for now.